Everyone thought Elin Nordegren would never recover from Tiger Woods' betrayal. The golf world expected her to fade away quietly. Instead, she pulled off the ultimate comeback. The woman who found out about 120 affairs during their marriage didn't just survive. She thrived completely. By 2025, she owns more property than Tiger, has a bigger family than Tiger, and built a business empire Tiger never could. The cheating scandal that destroyed her years ago actually made her stronger. What she accomplished will make you question everything you thought you knew. Elin Maria Pernilla Nordegren was born on January 1, 1980, in Stockholm, Sweden. She wasn't alone when she came into the world. She had an identical twin sister named Josephine. From the very start, their parents wanted the girls to be seen as individuals. They never dressed them the same. Elin always wore red. Josephine always wore blue. They even had different haircuts and were put in different classes at school so no one would mix them up. Their mother, Barbro Holmberg, was a top politician in Sweden and later became governor of Gävleborg County. Their father, Thomas Nordegren, was a famous radio journalist who worked in Washington, D.C. But in 1987, when the twins were just 7, their parents got divorced. That early breakup in the family left a mark on Elin, and it would come back years later when her own marriage faced collapse. As a teenager, Elin and Josephine worked hard. They spent their summers working as cashiers at a supermarket, saving money for their studies. That simple life changed in 2000, when Elin was 20. Her tall frame and Nordic beauty caught attention, and she ended up on the cover of Sweden's Café Sport magazine in a bikini. But Elin never cared much for modeling. She later said, "I was never very successful at it, and I didn't intend to pursue it. A few shoots in my teenage years don't make me a model." She saw it as just a way to pay for school. In 2001, something happened that no one expected. Elin was planning to study Spanish in Barcelona and continue her psychology degree. But instead, she said yes to a job as a nanny for Swedish golfer Jesper Parnevik and his wife Mia. She moved to the United States at 21. Her sister Josephine joined her as a nanny too, meaning both twins gave up their studies in Europe at the same time. But this wasn't just any babysitting job. The Parneviks chose Elin because she was educated and beautiful. That job would change everything. It was in their home where she met Tiger Woods. Elin had already lived abroad once before. In 1997, at age 17, she and Josephine moved to Germany for a year with their father. They studied at the John F. Kennedy School in Berlin and learned both English and German. By the time Elin arrived in America in 2001, she was fluent in Swedish, English, and German. She had also planned to study Spanish. Even though English wasn't her first language, she later finished her degree in psychology at Rollins College in Florida, graduating in 2014 with a 3.96 GPA. She even gave the commencement speech and joked about taking a media class right before being thrown into the spotlight. The first time Tiger Woods saw Elin was at the British Open in 2001 at Royal Lytham in England. She was working as a nanny for Jesper Parnevik, and Tiger, who was 25 at the time, couldn't take his eyes off her. Jesper even joked to Tiger, "I think she's a bit too good for him." And he wasn't fully joking. The Parneviks had hired Elin in 2000, and when Tiger met her during the tournament, it sparked a romance that would become one of the most talked about in golf history. But not everyone was happy about it. When the truth came out years later, after Tiger's cheating scandal, Jesper Parnevik said, "I really feel sorry for Elin since me and my wife were at fault for hooking her up with him." What's even more surprising is that Elin didn't want anything to do with Tiger at first. She had a boyfriend in Sweden and thought Tiger was too famous. According to one book, Tiger didn't even ask her out himself. He got someone else to do it, which she found weird and even pathetic. Her reaction was, "What the hell was that?" Everyone wanted to date her, and a lot of golfers were crazy about her, but she wasn't interested in fame. She turned Tiger down. And maybe that's exactly what pulled him in. He wasn't used to hearing no, but Tiger didn't give up. In March 2002, they finally started dating in secret. For 18 months, they managed to keep it completely quiet. Tiger flew her around in private jets for secret dates. At the time, he was at the top of his game and earning hundreds of millions. Still, Elin tried to keep up with her school while flying out to meet him. Their ability to stay hidden for nearly 2 years was almost unbelievable considering how famous he was. Everything changed in 2003 during the President's Cup in South Africa. That's when they went public. Fans were shocked to see Tiger with anyone, let alone someone who had kept him waiting for so long. After the tournament, Tiger proposed during a romantic safari. Elin called her dad in Sweden right away to tell him the news. She was 23 and Tiger was 27. His agent confirmed the engagement, and suddenly, the private couple was at the center of every headline. Their bond wasn't just about looks. They connected over psychology and their shared love of privacy. Elin helped Tiger talk through his pressure, especially the weight his father Earl put on him. Their conversations went deep. She gave him emotional support while he became the greatest golfer in the world. He loved how she stayed far away from fame. She helped him stay focused. In November 2003, Tiger proposed with a 6-carat diamond ring worth about $1.5 million. It happened at the Shamwari Game Reserve in South Africa. By then, Elin had completely changed her mind about Tiger. Mia Parnevik once said, "She had no interest in Tiger and he was okay with that. There was a big line of golfers wanting to meet her." But the safari proposal turned their quiet romance into something huge. They got married on October 5, 2004. The wedding cost around $1.5 million. Tiger rented out the entire Sandy Lane Resort in Barbados for a week. There were 110 rooms and 3 golf courses just for their guests. They said their vows in a white-netted pagoda filled with 500 red roses. The Caribbean sunset lit the scene. Michael Jordan and Charles Barkley were there. Oprah wasn't, despite rumors. Tiger even hired the island's only helicopter service to block the press. Hootie and the Blowfish played at the reception. Fireworks lit up the sky. Elin wore an off-white sleeveless dress. Tiger wore a beige suit. After the wedding, they spent the night on Tiger's new yacht called Privacy. He bought it for $20 million. It had everything: a gym, a theater, hot tubs, bedrooms. It cost $2 million a year just to run, with a 9-person crew. The next morning, a rainbow appeared as they came ashore. Even Elin's twin sister Josephine was with them. They already started talking about having children. They settled into a luxurious life. Elin brought Swedish style into their home, mixing it with American luxury. Their mansion became a quiet place, far from the spotlight. Elin wanted to be a mother. Tiger wanted a family. They built the home with children in mind. It became their sanctuary, where their first child would soon arrive. On June 18, 2007, their daughter was born. Her name was Sam Alexis Woods. She was born in Orlando, Florida, just one day after Father's Day and the day after Tiger came second in the U.S. Open. The name Sam had special meaning. Tiger's father, Earl, had always called him Sam since he was born. Tiger said, "It just happened to fit." He was 31 when he became a father. Elin Nordegren looked like she had everything. When she gave birth to Charlie Axel Woods on February 8, 2009, in Orlando, her life seemed perfect. Charlie's name, chosen simply because it felt right, had a deeper meaning too. His middle name, Axel, honored her brother and kept her Swedish roots alive. She loved dressing Charlie and his older sister Sam in matching clothes during Tiger's tournaments. People noticed. Photos from 2009 showed Tiger holding baby Charlie and kissing him. Those images made the world believe in a fairy tale family. By 2015, both kids were walking the greens with Tiger during the Masters Par 3 contest, wearing little caddy uniforms Elin had carefully prepared. These moments made Tiger look like the perfect husband and father, and Elin made sure every detail was just right. But what most people didn't see was how much Elin was doing quietly behind the scenes. Even though she didn't hold any official role, she played a big part in the Tiger Woods Foundation, which handled more than $75 million for children's education. She didn't want attention. She preferred to stay out of the spotlight while helping build something meaningful. Her background in psychology made her especially focused on programs for kids. She worked with Tiger's mother, Coltita, his agent Mark Steinberg, and even tennis star Lindsay Davenport, but always stayed in the background. That decision would later protect her when everything started to fall apart. One of her most difficult moments came during the 2008 US Open. Tiger was playing through unbelievable pain. He had torn ligaments and stress fractures in his leg, but he still kept going. Elin was already pregnant with Charlie, and she was the one making all the travel plans, helping with their daughter Sam, and keeping everything calm and organized. While Tiger limped between holes, she managed the chaos with quiet strength. That tournament became one of Tiger's most heroic wins. But very few people realized it was also one of Elin's hardest battles. After their divorce, Elin didn't just fade away. In 2011, she bought a $12.25 million home in North Palm Beach. She knocked it down and built a brand new mansion, 25,178 square feet, 11 bedrooms, 15 bathrooms, sitting on 1.4 acres with 200 feet of ocean right in front. The place had a gym under the house, a movie theater, and even a pool with a water slide. She worked with a designer who had also done Celine Dion's home. In 2018, she listed it for $49.5 million. Even though she sold it for $29 million in 2020, she still more than doubled her money. Then she bought a new home for $9.9 million in Palm Beach Gardens, a smart house with lake views, high-tech systems, and room for over 500 wine bottles. She didn't rely on divorce money. She built her wealth with smart moves. People called her a trophy wife. Some thought she was just a model who got lucky. But Elin pushed back. She had only modeled to help pay for school, and she always planned to return to Sweden to study psychology. In 2014, she graduated from Rollins College at age 34. She won the award for Outstanding Senior and even gave the graduation speech. She did all this while raising 2 young kids. Years earlier, in 2007, she had sued a magazine for publishing fake nude photos of her and won $182,000. She gave that money to cancer charities in memory of a friend. That was who she really was: strong, thoughtful, and focused. But the picture-perfect life shattered suddenly on Thanksgiving night in 2009. On November 26th, Elin found out about Tiger's affair with Rachel Uchitel. He had come home from a poker game, taken a sleeping pill, and gone to bed. Elin checked his phone, called the other woman, and got confirmation. She woke him up. The confrontation turned into chaos. Around 2:30 a.m. on November 27th, Tiger ran barefoot to his Cadillac Escalade and tried to drive away. He crashed into a fire hydrant, a tree, and some hedges. Elin smashed the back window with a golf club to get him out. Some said she chased him in rage, but the truth was harder to tell. He had cuts on his face and got a careless driving ticket. That crash exposed everything. Just days later, it got worse. Within 2 weeks, 14 women came forward saying they had affairs with Tiger. Some of them had been with him while Elin was pregnant, with Sam in 2007 and Charlie in 2009. One woman, Jaime Grubbs, had messages in Tiger's phone. Elin even texted her directly saying, You know who this is because you are f***ing my husband." Tiger had left Grubbs a voicemail begging her to delete her name. The tabloids exploded. By December 11, 2009, more than a dozen women had gone public. Elin later said she was completely blindsided and humiliated. In late December, Tiger entered a rehab clinic in Mississippi. It was called Pine Grove and cost $60,000. It had 24 bedrooms and offered therapy, yoga, art classes, and spiritual counseling. He was allowed a private chalet and skipped many of the chores other patients had to do. Elin was invited to participate during Family Week, which included a painful day called Disclosure Day, where Tiger had to confess every single affair. She only agreed because he was trying to save their marriage. He knew she was serious about leaving. During that time, he admitted to sleeping with as many as 120 women during their 5-year marriage. He gave Elin a 4-page list. But even that wasn't everything. One name was missing: Rachel Kudriet, a 21-year-old neighbor. When Elin found out about her, it was the final blow. Tiger had tried to hide that one, knowing it would completely destroy what was left of their relationship. 9 months later, on August 23, 2010, Elin officially filed for divorce. She didn't do it in Orlando. Instead, she drove 375 miles north to Panama City, Florida, to file it quietly in Bay County Circuit Court. She and Tiger both showed up for the short hearing, which lasted only about 10 minutes inside Judge Judy Pittman Beeble's chambers. They weren't alone. Each had lawyers, 8 in total. Even Elin's twin sister, Josephine, was there. She was a lawyer herself, licensed in England and Sweden. The court papers said their marriage was irretrievably broken. And it was. Their 6-year marriage had started in October 2004 with a dream wedding in Barbados. Now, it was ending quietly in a courthouse hours away from home. But the quiet ending came with a storm of money. When it was all over, Elin walked away with a $100 million settlement. That number was shocking on its own, but what made it even more dramatic was how much people had been guessing. Some media reports said it might be $750 million. That wasn't true. But still, $100 million made it one of the biggest celebrity divorce settlements ever. Attorney Raoul Felder, who specialized in celebrity divorces, said Tiger was in Desperateville. He believed Tiger overpaid because he was in such a bad spot after the scandal. Around that same time, Tiger lost between $18 million and $25 million in endorsement deals. Brands didn't want to be associated with him anymore. He was trying to clean up his image. He even entered rehab for sex addiction and signed a new agreement with Elin on July 4, 2010, right before she filed for divorce. Elin later said in an interview, "Money doesn't make you happy, but I have to be honest. It is making some things easier." She used that money to focus on being a full-time mom to their 2 kids. Their children, Sam Alexis and Charlie Axel, were just 3 years old and 19 months old at the time. After the divorce, Elin got primary physical custody. Tiger agreed to supervised visits in the beginning, which said a lot about the level of trust between them. Elin was deeply hurt and wanted to protect her children. But over time, things changed. They began sharing legal custody, and their parenting relationship got better. By 2014, Elin even said publicly that Tiger was a great father. She said they had a really good relationship now, and everything they did was focused on the kids. Sam and Charlie lived about 25 minutes from Tiger's Jupiter, Florida mansion, so they saw him often. They even showed up at his golf tournaments, proving that co-parenting was working, even after everything that had happened. One of the biggest symbols of their broken marriage was a yacht called Privacy. Tiger bought it in 2004 for $20 million and gave it to Elin as a wedding gift. But after the divorce, she didn't want it anymore. Keeping it would have meant paying $2 million every year just for maintenance. So she gave it back to Tiger, and he put it up for sale in 2011 for $25 million. Yacht builder John Staluppi didn't think he'd get that price, though. He guessed Tiger might get around $20 million because the luxury yacht market had crashed, and banks weren't lending much. During that time, Tiger also had a smaller boat built for Elin. It was a 61-foot diving boat named Solitude, worth $3.1 million. He gave it to her as a Valentine's Day gift while they were trying to patch things up. They both loved scuba diving, and the boat had been custom designed for that. But in the end, both boats just became part of what had to be sold off as their lives split apart. Selling those assets helped Elin stand on her own without just relying on the divorce money. Elin's fresh start came with a wrecking ball. In March 2011, she bought a huge 17,278-square-foot colonial-style mansion in North Palm Beach. She paid $12.2 million for it. The mansion was only 10 miles away from Tiger's house on Jupiter Island. But instead of moving in, she tore it down. People were stunned. Why buy a mansion just to destroy it? Some thought it was a crazy waste of money. But the truth was more practical. The house had been built in 1932 and had major problems. The foundation was cracked. It had water damage, termites, and it didn't meet modern hurricane safety rules. Before it was demolished in December 2011, Elin let Habitat for Humanity come in and salvage anything they could. They removed 5 refrigerators, wine coolers, and even a 12-foot fountain with lion heads that spouted water. Then Elin hired an expensive architect to build her dream home from scratch. Everyone who worked on the project had to sign confidentiality agreements. That demolition wasn't just about fixing a house. It was a message. She was done with the past. She was going to rebuild everything: her home, her life, and her future, with her children at the center. In 2010, Elin quietly enrolled in Rollins College in Florida. She was a single mom now, raising 2 kids, trying to stay strong while the world watched her every move. She studied psychology in the evenings, balancing school, motherhood, and the chaos of public attention. But she didn't just get through it. She became the best student in her entire class, graduating in 2014 with a 3.96 GPA. She received the Hamilton Holt Outstanding Senior Award, chosen from 15 candidates as the top student of the year. In her speech, she said that education became her comfort, something no one could ever take from her. That 9-year journey from 2005 to 2014 showed she wasn't just surviving. She was rebuilding herself. What happened next was even more surprising. In 2018, she officially became a registered mental health counselor intern in Florida. 2 months later, in November, she opened her own therapy business called EN Therapy LLC. It wasn't for show. It came from real pain. After the divorce in 2010, she had been going to therapy every week for years, slowly putting herself back together. She wanted to help others do the same. Her office was at 1555 Palm Beach Lakes Boulevard in West Palm Beach. In September 2021, her LLC was dissolved because she didn't file an annual report. But her health department license stayed active until September 2023. That meant she didn't quit. She just kept going quietly. In March 2013, something unexpected happened. Elin started dating billionaire coal tycoon Christopher Klein, who was 54 at the time. She was 33. He lived near her in North Palm Beach, and his wealth was said to be even bigger than Tiger's. They tried to build something together, but it didn't last. He was always traveling for work, and they couldn't find enough time. By the end of 2013, it was over. She went to the Hamptons for a girls' trip afterward, showing the world she was moving forward again. Her strength wasn't just emotional, it was financial too. In 2011, she bought a beachside property for $12.25 million. But instead of fixing it up, she tore it down and built a new 25,000 square foot dream home. It had 11 bedrooms, 18 bathrooms, a movie theater, wine cellar, underground gym, rooftop lounge, guest houses, a tennis court, custom pool with a slide, and 300 feet of private beach. She listed it in 2018 for $49.5 million, then reduced it to $44.5 million. It finally sold in 2022 for $28.64 million. Even with the lower sale price, she made over $16 million in profit. She didn't need anyone's help. She made her own fortune. Elin also became a master of privacy. After the scandal, she changed her phone numbers, avoided interviews, and kept her circle small. When Tiger started dating Vanessa Trump in late 2024, he called Elin first before the news came out. He didn't want her to find out from the tabloids. When he told her, she laughed and said, "Seriously? A Trump? Is this real?" That moment showed how far she'd come. She had power over her own story now. In her 2014 graduation speech, she joked that the media once called her a woman with no words. But now she stood in front of everyone, proving that silence can be strength. Then, in 2017, something new began. She met former NFL player Jordan Cameron at Art Basel in Miami. He had just retired at 28 because of 4 concussions, including one during a game between the Dolphins and Browns in September 2016. They connected over pain, over pressure, over knowing what it felt like to be judged and picked apart. Their friends introduced them, thinking maybe these two broken people could help each other heal. They were right. What stunned the media was what came next. For 2 full years, from 2017 to 2019, no one knew they were together. Not a single photo, not a single leak. Then, on June 7, 2019, Elin showed up at her son's flag football game with a baby bump. 5 days later, Page 6 confirmed that Jordan Cameron was the father. Everyone was shocked. But Elin had done the impossible. She found love again, and she kept it completely private. By 2018, she and Jordan had moved in together. Their home was now filled with children. Elin had Sam, born in 2007, and Charlie, born in 2009, from her marriage to Tiger. Jordan had Tristan, born in 2009, from a previous relationship. In October 2019, Elin gave birth to their first child together. He was named Elin Nordegren Cameron. But 2 months later, they filed to legally change his name to Arthur. The court finalized it in February 2020, but no one knows why. Maybe it was personal. Maybe it meant something only they understood. Their family kept growing. In December 2022, Elin gave birth to a daughter named Zeta. In 2024, another daughter, Freya, was born. That brought the total to 6 kids under one roof. Charlie was 15. Sam and Tristan were both around 16. Arthur, Zeta, and Freya were just beginning their lives. Jordan had given up millions by walking away from football. He said he did it because he wanted to be present. He didn't want to miss raising his children. On December 22, 2024, the world saw something even more unexpected. At the PNC Championship in Orlando, Tiger and Charlie finished second place. Elin was there, holding one of her youngest kids and wearing a matching baseball cap with Tiger. Their daughter Sam, now 17, was caddying for her dad and brother. When Charlie hit a hole-in-one on the 4th hole, both parents hugged and celebrated like the past had never happened. After 14 years, they weren't exes anymore. They were partners in parenting. After selling her massive oceanfront mansion for $29 million in 2020, Elin bought a new $9.9 million home in Palm Beach Gardens. It was 13,523 square feet, had 6 bedrooms, 9 bathrooms, a gym, a wine room with 500 bottles, a pool and spa, and even a separate guest apartment. It was perfect for a family of 8. The smart home system let her control everything from iPads. The lake and golf views made it feel peaceful. It was no longer about flash, it was about building a real home. In 2024, a close friend told people that the 6 kids all saw each other as real siblings. No labels, no divisions, just family. Elin had done what most people find impossible. She made a blended family feel whole. Her psychology degree, her therapy background, and her experience with pain had taught her how to build something lasting. One child was 16. One was still a toddler, but they all shared one roof and one bond. At that same PNC tournament, Elin's planning was on full display. She made sure Sam could caddy, Charlie could shine, and the youngest kids were cared for. Tiger called the hole-in-one the thrill of a lifetime. For Elin, it was something more. It was a symbol. The woman who once stood in the ashes of betrayal was now the glue holding 2 families together.